In this video, I want to quickly discuss the Juniper cRPD, the containerized routing protocol daemon container that Juniper offers, and talk about, is this a viable option for labbing? So this is a very attractive option because it's extremely lightweight. It uses one CPU and 256 megabytes of memory. That's a quarter of a gigabyte of memory. So it seems like a great option. You can run this on almost any machine. The slight problem with these is that they're very, very limited. So they're only control plane functionality. And what happens is instead of there being like a PFE or like a simulated PFE, the data plane is the Linux data plane. So there's a lot of limitations. So like the host Linux kernel is what's storing the fib. So this really kind of messes up some things. And I found that it made things quite difficult. So, RPD is the routing protocol daemon. This is like the routing process that runs routing protocols, OSPF, static routes, and things like that. So, in addition to that, there's some other processes that are running, like the CLI process, the management daemon. So, it's really nice for some things. And let's start up a very basic lab and just take a look at it. So, here I've got the cRPD image and just two routers. So I'll start up this lab and you'll see how fast this starts. So I just started it. Now I'm going to try to SSH to it, and I already can SSH. I'm already logged in. So that's one of the huge benefits of this. The strange thing is that it uses ETH interfaces like ETH1, ETH2, etc. I think this is, because it's using the underlying Linux data plane. So that's one difference, is that I wouldn't use this as my primary source for JNCIA study because, it's better just to get the feel of like the GE-000 FPC/PIC/port kind of interface names. But let's go ahead and set some IP. Each of these routers are connected on ETH1. Let's see. So I'll do that. I'll get out of this one and I'll go into R2. Of course, these are putting you, the login is root, so they're putting you into the underlying bash. That's why I'm having to get into the CLI. The 1, unit 0, 10.0.0.2. And you might think, okay, I'm going to go ping. Oh, ping isn't available. That's like the first thing I noticed. That why isn't ping available? I think it has to do with the fact that probably ping is executed on the PFE, and on the V routers there's like probably some kind of a simulated PFE. And this, it's not. Like, there's things that I guess the router you're asking the PFE to do are just not really available. But you can trace route. I guess maybe trace route is done in the RE, So I could trace route to 10.0.1 and it works. That's a way to verify connectivity. You also can go into the underlying bash shell and ping is available there. Now, I don't know how this would work if you're using routing instances. If you can somehow specify the routing instance from the underlying bash shell, I'm not too sure about that. But let's look into another limitation, which is that it's common to use .0 as a shortcut. This isn't valid. It won't let you do this. The other strange thing is that you can't use... I found that I couldn't use that in OSPF. So like if I try to use set ETH 1.0, it does take it. Let's see if I do a commit check, it succeeds. But when I commit, it's not running OSPF on the interface. There's no interfaces here. Now let's add ETH1 commit, and now it's running OSPF on ETH1. And you will be able to get OSPF up and stuff, but I just found this to be kind of strange. So there's some other things, which is that show route forwarding table isn't available again because of this. There's a a lot of things absent that would be done in the data plane, I guess, or some kind of relationship between the control plane and the data plane. We also can't do things like just restart. There's no restart here. We can't request system zero eyes. So there's a lot of things that you couldn't accomplish in the workbook with cRPD. Let's see. What else? Even some commands you would think like set system name server isn't here. There's name resolution. No resolve. So it's like I don't quite understand why so many things are changed and different. Maybe if somebody is more familiar with cRPD, you could let me know. I think it's a really, really great option for just immediately starting up something so lightweight. I do like this for just some more basic CLI stuff. Just you can probably do, set a group and apply groups to things and just do other kind of basic things that all you really need is a CLI. You don't really need the entire vRouter that you need to spin up and wait a couple minutes for it to start up. So I did use it studying for the JNCIA quite a bit, but just you need to make sure that you're aware of limitations because you don't want to be in the situation where you think, oh, name server isn't the right command, because it's not letting me auto complete it, but actually it is, so you really need to be confident to be able to determine is this something I'm not doing right, or is it because cRPD isn't supporting it?